So this morning I probably woke up to the most unexpected balance patch of all time, and a Monday one, there was no leaks about it, no hints, no nothing. So let's just try to go over it. Honestly, I was scared we don't get a patch at all, so I'm very happy about it. Up there you see the Japanese ones, because the Japanese patch notes have numbers in them, and the English ones don't yet. So the first one, we have Mewtwo X. The amount of the following stats increase at level 1 has been adjusted. Recovery, effect, strength has been nerfed, and then we also have a Side Strike damage nerf. Let's go to the Japanese ones. We go to Mewtwo X, so we see that Recover gets less of a shield, and also less healing from being hit by something. And then we also have Side Strike getting a just 12% damage nerf. So very good. Mewtwo X was still the strongest build right now, or Recover and Side Strike was the strongest build. I have to keep skipping this on this patch. So very good that has been nerfed. Next up, we have actually Eldegoss getting a HP restoration decrease on point path, which is quite unexpected. This was a nerf of about, where is Eldegoss right here? 15% healing reduction has been nerfed, or 15% of that healing has been nerfed, which is quite a lot. Pretty unexpected. Didn't expect Eldegoss to, be nerfed. Next up we have, but Eldegoss has been pretty powerful for quite a long time, so maybe it's deserved. Who knows? Zacian is getting a nerf next to Sacred Sword, damage to opposing Pokemon decreased, and effect on user weakened. So the effect on user weakened means that Zacian now takes more damage from 50 to 30%, or he now takes, 20% more damage during using Sacred Sword. And before he had a 50% damage reduction by using Sacred Sword, now it's only 30%. And we also have 10% less damage on Sacred Sword, which also pretty good. Zacian still, again, was also probably the best Pokemon, or top 2 Pokemon with Mewtwo X on the current patch. So I'm glad they keep on nerfing these two now without, waiting years and years and years. Then we have a Slowbro nerf, which, I'm kind of happy about, but I think a lot of people are not going to be happy about it. We have an Amnesia nerf. It will be less healing, less defense, and less special defense. So I'm going to go over here again to the Japanese ones. Going to try to look for Slowbro, which I think is called, where is Slowbro? Oh, here, this one. So 22% decrease in healing, and then also 50 less defense, and also 25%, or 20, not 25%, 25 less special defense. I find funny how the direct translation is I forgot to Amnesia. That's pretty straightforward. And then we come to my favorite change of this entire patch. Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise will all now be level 7 evolutions. I think it was about time. If you look at all the other starter Pokemon, right? Blaziken, Cinderace. I think pretty much every single other starter Pokemon evolves at level 7, right? Greninja, and so on and so on. So it was about time that they also start, get their final evolution a bit earlier. This all just means they don't get the Unite moves at level 7, but they evolve and get more stats at level 7 already. So you don't have to wait too long to get, more stats in and be more effective. This is the end of an era, though. This is the end of the very funny Wartortle not evolving until the end of game. So I think we will not ever see Wartortles at Rayquaza again, which I think is pretty good, because that's nothing you want to see being around anymore. So F07 to the Wartortle meta. We have now entered the Blastoise meta. Next up, we have Mimikyu, which is actually getting a lot of buffs. First, Shadow Claw has been buffed to effect on user strength. I'm not even sure what this is about. If we go down here to Mimikyu, if I can find Mimikyu in the Japanese ones, there we go. Decreased waiting time for each normal attack hit, 0.5 to 1 second. I'm not even sure what this means, honestly. I have no idea. I have to figure that out later. Play Rough, though. Play Rough got a damage increase, and also, not just a damage increase, it also now enters a defensive state while attacking. It is now invincible. I made a GIF earlier. You can see, I'm going to just put it on screen right now. Mimikyu is now invincible while using Play Rough, which is a huge buff, of course, right? Like, usually it got stopped, or you just literally died during it. So it's kind of like Wild Charge now, except you still see where Mimikyu is. Yeah, that sounds pretty strong. For sure, have to give that a try. And it could also be scary. Just giving any Pokemon invincibility is kind of wild, right? So it can't get stopped by literally anything. Once you get Play Roughed, you have to take all the damage, and that's it. I'm not sure if I like this change. Play Rough does need a buff, but making it fully invincible, we'll see how that turns out. Shadow Claw is very strong, so maybe it's still better than Play Rough anyways, but yeah, that sounds pretty insane. You still have to hit it at least it's a skill shot, right? Then we have Trick Room. Trick Room is getting a cooldown buff by quite a lot, as you can see right here, from 11 to 8.5 seconds. And then also, now you take even less damage from people outside of Trick Room. So before it was 30%, and now you take 50% less damage from enemy Pokemon outside of Trick Room. Then we have a little Glaceon buff, which I mean, you can just look over here. We have Glaceon. This is Ice Shard getting a attack speed increase from 50 to 75% again, and Ice Shard plus from 65 to 100%. I mean, this build has been underperforming for quite a while now. Ice Spear, Ice Shard. Honestly, I always thought it did pretty good, but it had a terrible win rate, so I can see why they buffed it again. And yeah, so Glaceon getting a small buff. We also have Talonflame. Talonflame now getting more attack damage throughout the entire game, if I can find him in the Japanese ones. So now he has 680 before, and now he has 710 at level 15. So over the course of the game, Talonflame gets more attack damage on every single level than before. And then we also have an Aerial Ace buff of around, it says here, 15% more Aerial Ace damage, which is very good for Brave Bird. For Fly Ace, I'm not sure. I just don't like Fly Ace as a moveset. I really don't. But for Brave Bird and Ace, it could be quite good, because it might just be able to get insane amount of KOs now. Because you always select a bit damage sometimes to finish someone off, but now it might be enough damage. Then we have Clefable getting a Draining Kiss HP restoration buff, which I mean is fine. So HP recovery amount from 80 to 100% and plus from 100 to 120%. Honestly, I wish that Draining Kiss just only hit Clefable. Or like at least always hits Clefable and then like also gives a chunk to allies. The problem is that with this build you have to go in, and if your allies are lower, you will just die because you heal your allies instead of yourself, and you're just like a melee support now that's quite squishy, you're going to die. So always a bit weird of an ability, you know, it feels like an all-rounder move more than a supporter move, but of course they want it to be a supporter move, that's why it still heals allies. And then we come to Chandelure. Chandelure getting a Flamethrower buff, more damage on Flamethrower, and Poltergeist getting a cooldown reduction as well. I've been waiting for Flamethrower buffs. I'm very excited to try out this build. And then we also have more slowing from Poltergeist, I think. I think it just slows more, pretty much. Poltergeist, just more slowing. And then we have item changes. A lot of item changes. And for this one, I'm just going to go over the Japanese ones, because these ones don't really tell us anything. So let's go over here, make this bigger. So first we have dash button, which is, I mean, that is eject button getting a 5-second nerf. We have fix anything, which is actually quite funny. Fix anything is full heal, 5 second. It doesn't fix anything either, because Slowbro Knight doesn't get fixed by it. But 5-second nerf on full heal, which I think is terrible. I don't know why they would nerf full heal. Pretty sad nerf. I expect them to maybe buff it after all, but no. Then we have a slow smoke. Attack speed reduction amount. That's slow smoke, right? Yeah, slow smoke. Getting a cooldown buff and an attack speed. Slowers attack speed even more now. Interesting, they're buffing slow smoke. Not sure if I like that either. Okay, pretty annoying for melees. And then Goalgetter also getting a 15-second cooldown buff. I'm scared. This one scares me. Like, I don't want to see Goalgetter meta. I really do not. But I'm gonna try some Goalgetter, I guess, as well. With this, 15 seconds is quite a lot, so you can use it like at least 1 more time or 2 more times per game. And then we have Slick Spoon getting a nerf from 20%, you know, going through enemy special defense to 17%. On level 20, we're going to look at the 21s, which I think is fair. I think Spoon will still be probably the best item though for special attackers anyways. Then we have a Focus Band nerf from 14% healing HP to 12%. Which I think is fair. Like, I think Focus Band is way too OP for way too long, and I hate seeing it on every single Pokemon being played, especially in tournaments. Every single Pokemon runs Focus Band, and it's just boring. It's a boring item. Then we have a Leftovers buff from 2% healing to 4% healing. Not sure if that's gonna matter. I think they have to, like, just reduce the, you know, the activation time of it. And then we have a Healing Crown buff from 10 to 13%, which, you know, might not sound like a lot, and I don't think it's a lot, but I'm for sure going to try it out as well. Let me know in the comments how you would rate this patch, and thank you guys for watching.